So today we are going to talk a little bit about meeting your 1031 exchange requirements. As most of you know, if you've ever done a 1031 exchange, the biggest things you need to worry about are replacing your debt and using all of the cash to put into your new property or your up leg. So today we're going to go through an example of when you think you might not be able to make the debt requirement. It's really hard when you're looking for a new property to find that property that perfectly matches the amount of cash that you have to put down and also meets the debt requirement, meaning the loan that you have to get in order to satisfy your 1031 exchange. So we're going to look at an example today where the property may not fit, but we're going to kind of make it work. So in this example, we're assuming that you're selling a property for $2 million and that it has an existing $800,000 loan. So that means if you're out there looking for a new property that you're either going to have to, well, you're going to have to put down $1.2 million and you're going to have to replace that $800,000 in debt. So when you're out there looking at properties, I know you're looking at the numbers, you're seeing what you can qualify for in order to avoid paying any capital gains. So let's assume that you find a property that you love. You want to make this property work, or maybe it's one of the few properties that's available and you feel like you have to make it work. So let's say that property is $2.5 million purchase price. The rents are low, so the property's not qualifying for the loan dollars. You're gonna have to come in with some extra cash, but you wanna make it work. So it would be what we call like a value add opportunity. Once you close on the property, you can go in, you can raise rents, maybe you have to do some repairs, but either way, you can get the income up. So let's say that property only qualifies for a $700,000 loan. You're saying, well, gosh, I don't wanna pay $100,000 in gains because I can't meet the loan requirements. A way to get around this is what we call a holdback. So this is where we say to the lender that you're going to increase your rents. Let's say that the average rents here are, $1,200, but the market rents are $1,450. Maybe you're not going to increase those rents all the way because you've got to do more repairs or things in order to get to that number. But let's say you could bring the rents from $1,200 to $1,300 easily. So if you're only qualifying for $700,000 loan at that $1,200 a month in rent, what we can do is say to the lender, well, hey, the market rents are $1,450, but right after close of escrow, this owner is going to deliver rent increase notices, whether it's 30 or 60 days, depending on if it's 10% or more. But we're going to deliver rent increases to $1,300. So I want you to run the qualifying based on $1,300 in rent. So the lender will go ahead and run those numbers. So let's say at $1,300 in rent, it now qualifies for an $800,000 loan amount. So what they will do is say, okay, we're going to give you a loan of $800,000, but at the close of escrow, we're only going to release to you $700,000. So you need to come in with the extra $100,000, but when you get rent increases in place, and let's say sometimes you've got to show that you collected the first month of rent. Some lenders require 60 days seasoning, meaning that you've collected 2 months of rent. But depending on whatever the case may be, once those rents go into place and you can prove that you collected those increased rents of $1,300 in this case, we'll go ahead and release to you the $100,000, the extra $100,000 that you put into escrow. So on your loan documents, it shows that you got an $800,000 loan amount and therefore you were able to satisfy your 1031 exchange requirements.